Sunday, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd go through a couple of my recent purchases. A couple of Charles Gerhardt recordings with the National Philharmonic Orchestra. This is the 12 CD box set of Charles Gerhardt conducts classic film scores, and this is one I got on eBay for 99p. Now, let's go do this one first. This is Star Wars and the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, I saw recently the Birdman got the LP of this. It's probably got various versions of this, but I think Eric Woods had mentioned this at one point as well on one of our Batman shows on Soundtracks with Birdman's channel, and he said that the Close Encounters suite on this was fantastic. I think I may remember that wrong, but anyway, I thought, well, you know, I'd never heard this recording before, so I was so chuffed to pick it up for 99p. The postage and packing on that was more than the actual CD itself, but they were right. The suite on Close Encounters, it's about 17 minutes long ish, and it covers the final portion of the film where the mothership comes down and the events leading up to that. But it's just such a wonderfully rich recording. Slightly different to the original, but that's because it's a new conductor. But I believe Charles Gerhardt was a friend of John Williams, and he discussed his recordings of both the Star Wars suite and the Close Encounters suite. I think he wanted to make a couple of changes to the order in which some of the tracks from the Star Wars suite were organised, and he discussed that with John Williams, and John Williams said, "Yeah, go for it." So yeah, if you can pick that up, I've shown that you can pick it up for pennies on eBay. Wonderful re-recordings suites. I think on the Star Wars one, I think it was the first time that the concert version of "Here They Come" was recorded. So I think, might be wrong, but anyway, yeah, thoroughly recommend that, and it sounds absolutely wonderful, as does this thin beast box of Charles Gerhardt conducts classic film scores. Comes in this sturdy little box, and then you get 12 individual kind of cardboard sleeves. And as I said when I showed this off the other day, they've gone overboard with the artwork on each of the CDs. It's all exactly the same, which is a shame. I heard Eric Woods mention that it was a shame they didn't include all the liner notes for these from the original releases. But hey, it's all about the music, isn't it? Now, 20 years ago, probably 25 years ago, I probably wouldn't have been interested in any of these. But as I've got older, I'm in my 50s now, my kind of horizons have broadened amazingly, and I'm catching up with so much film music which I've missed out on in the past. I've seen the majority of these films, can't remember a lot of them. Some of them are, but yeah, let's go through this. The CD1 is the music of Eric Wolfgang Korngold, and it includes things like The Seahawk, Adventures of Robin Hood, King's Row. Everybody says, oh, Star Wars was ripped off from that. It may have been on the composer's mind, but it's just another piece of music. Great piece of music. Captain Blood, Devotion, Escape Me Never. Some of these films I've never heard of and never seen, but I have seen most of them in the past. CD2 is Dmitry Tiomkin. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this includes The Lost Horizon, Guns of Navarone. Great film. I have that on Blu-ray. Recommend that, from an Alistair MacLean book. Lost Horizon was remade as a musical. Yeah. Yeah. Great stuff. CD3 is classic film scores for Errol Flynn. More Max Steiner from Adventures of Don Juan. Now, I've never seen The Adventures of Don Juan, but I'm aware of the music because it was used in The Goonies, which is there. I believe Sloth was watching the film on TV, and it's later used as a kind of adventure theme for him and Chunk when they go into action. Eric Wolfgang Korngold, The Seahawk, More Captain Blood, Max Steiner, They Died with Their Boots On, Dodge City, Franz Waxman, Objective Burma, and more Eric Wolfgang Korngold, The Adventures of Robin Hood again. So again, this is wonderfully recorded stuff. It's a wonderfully expansive sound. It's got that kind of concert hall sound. Sometimes that concert hall sound can sound like it was recorded in a hangar 3 blocks from where you live. You know, it's just, it loses all the detail, but these are just fantastic. It sounds wonderful. CD4, Max Steiner, Gone with the Wind. I have never seen Gone with the Wind, but I bought it a couple of years ago on Blu-ray, and I still haven't watched it. It's still in its shrink wrap inside there. It's kind of 7 minutes shy of 4 hours. I need to watch it just to say that I watch it. I don't know. It's over 80 years old now, but wonderful music. I need to watch the film just to get context. Context is everything, as I keep saying, but that's just me. That's not the full score, but it's just a full CD of music from Gone with the Wind. CD5, Alfred Newman, probably granddaddy of Oscar. I think he won 9 Oscars. Wow. And he wrote the 20th Century Fox fanfare, including the extension at the end for CinemaScope films, and it was called the CinemaScope extension. But here we've got Captain from Castile, Wuthering Heights, The Bravados, Anastasia. Got something in my mouth. I was eating a cake. The main title for Airport, which is the last thing he ever wrote. Not the main title, but the score for that film. Dynamic, brilliant tune. And The Robe, the first CinemaScope film. Yeah, CD6, classic film scores for Humphrey Bogart. All sorts of stuff on this. Casablanca, and lots of people say that's the greatest film ever made. I think it's okay. I don't think it's the greatest film ever made. It's fun. It's a good film. But yeah, Treasury of the Sierra Madre, Big Sleep, The Community, great film. Music from Franz Waxman here, To Have and Have Not. Victor Young, The Left Hand of God. Miklos Rozsa, Sahara. More about Miklos Rozsa later. More Max Steiner. CD7, Bernard Herrmann. Now, some of these films date back to the 40s, and the music sounds fresh and modern now. Bernard Herrmann was a fantastic composer. You probably all know that anyway. We've got On Dangerous Ground, Citizen Kane. Again, some people say greatest film ever made. It's a good film, but I don't think it's the greatest film ever made. But it was groundbreaking in its time. Beneath the 12 Mile Reef, Hangover Square, White Witch Doctor. Tell you the truth, I've never heard of those. But again, great music. Interesting though, on one of the tracks from Citizen Kane, aria from Salamambo, the aria, Kiri Takanawa sings on it. And that was recorded in 1974. So she must have been very young. CD8, classic film scores of Franz Waxman. Prince Valiant, Place in the Sun, Bride of Frankenstein, Sunset Boulevard, Philadelphia Story, Taras Bulba. Taras Bulba. I've seen the film years ago. Great score. The Ride to Dubno is the most famous track from that, but Tadlow did a brilliant re-recording of Taras Bulba, which was a 2 CD set. So thoroughly recommend that if you can find that. But yeah, CD9, the classic film scores of Eric Wolfgang Korngold. So we've got Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex, The Prince and the Pauper, The Sea Wolf, of Human Bondage. Again, that was recorded 73. I think all of these were recorded in the early 70s, mid 70s, and they just sound brand new. They just sound absolutely awesome. CD10, Miklos Rozsa again. Thief of Baghdad, Lost Weekend, Red House, Four Feathers, Double Indemnity, Knights of the Round Table, Jungle Book, Spellbound, and Ivanhoe. Miklos Rozsa, I only started, well, not only, but I started getting into his stuff recently. Well, recently, in the past kind of 5-6 years or so. So I picked up a few years ago The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. That's the re-recording. I think that was the film came out in 1970, I believe. But yeah, that's a wonderful score. One of his later scores. Obviously, when you're talking about Miklos Rozsa, you're going to have to talk about Ben-Hur. That was the original soundtrack, the MGM one. That's the re-recording by the City of Prague, Tadlo. That's a lovely recording. And that was the mammoth FSM 5-disc box set, which includes the original film score and a few re-recordings that were made for release at the time that the film came out. So, but yeah, so this pressing is limited to 2,000 copies. You can still get it now. I believe Birdman got a copy recently, very reasonably priced as well, and brand new, I think. So yeah, that's 5 discs. Great, but I love Ben-Hur. Great film as well. Yeah, and finally, Time After Time from 1979. Yeah, lovely score. But yeah, where were we? I'm lost. Okay, CD11. The classic scores of Max Steiner. Now Voyager, King Kong. Everybody I know raves about King Kong. It's a fun film, but it's incredibly dated now. For the time, the special effects were miraculous, I would imagine. But it's just, I mean, even when I first saw this in about 1980, about then, when it came on BBC or whatever it was. And because I was used to Star Wars by that point, so it all looked very dated to me when I first saw it when I was about 11 or 12. But it's a fun film, and it is very much of its time. But again, the music is great. But yeah, and that's a great little set as well. If you're a fan of King Kong, it's got commentaries by various people. Anyway, moving on. Got lost. The final one. Film scores for Betty Davis. Interesting. We've got Now Voyager, Stolen Life, Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex again. All sorts of stuff on there. But yeah, I am really chuffed that I got that box set of Charles Gerhardt Conducts Classic Film Scores. As I say, it sounds fantastic. They were all recorded in the 70s, early 70s. My tastes have changed over the past kind of 10, 20 years, and I'm becoming more open to anything really. Some of the older scores, when I first listened to them, sounded a bit melodramatic. But these, well, I was going to say modern recordings. They're not that modern. They're almost 40, 50 years old now. But they just bring new life to these things, and it's just opened my eyes to what older film scores can be. So yeah, I'm going to do a review of the Mad Max films soon. The 4K box set came out last year, and then again later at the beginning of this year, because there were some issues with it. But I recently, well, on Friday, picked up the score for Mad Max Fury Road, so I thought I'll talk about that and some of the previous Mad Max scores, and then do a quick overview of the films and what they look like in 4K. They look awesome. So yeah, that's it for now. Pick that up if you can. Pick that Star Wars Close Encounters CD if you can, and I'll speak to you soon. Good day.